Guys, this is Ryan from Horror Hive, and I'm here with Source Point Press, a comic book company, and they're going to tell us a little bit about their comics they're shilling here at Days of the Dead. So how are you today?
Good, Ryan. Thanks so much.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your comics that you have here.
All right, well, the big seller is Monstrous. I wrote this. It's set in Frankenstein's Europe. There's 4 issues. They are each telling their own separate story, so people can get them in any order. They are $4 each, or all 4 for $15. You got all the favorites: zombies, werewolves, Igor doing tech support on brains and jars. Yeah, let me grab one here for you. The good guys are not all that good. The bad guys are not all that bad. Everybody's a little bit monstrous.
That's what you want from a comic.
Exactly, yeah. It's lots of fun, lots of action, and it's riffing on all the old horror movies. It's like the Old West, except instead of cowboys versus Indians, it's monsters versus robots. People are really responding to it. It's a really good comic. I also have Wild Bullets. It's telling the story about the Bullet family. They are each pulp adventurers. They're 4 siblings. They grew up to become a detective, a mad scientist, a monster hunter, and an archaeologist. And they go to their parents' house for Thanksgiving, and when they do, there's a murder, and so they have to solve who's behind the murder. They have to figure out who's out to get them. They have to find a way to get along together. And the cool thing about it is that as each of them tell the different story, or their different versions of the story, a different artist takes over in a different style and genre. So you got a crime section, sci-fi, horror, adventure, going with each of the Bullet family taking their turn telling the story. It's a lot of fun. It's in its second printing. People are loving this. And we've got Wild Bullets Christmas story coming out later. And I want to collect them all and call it Homicide for the Holidays. Also, a big thing that's coming up in October is one that I wrote that's an adaptation of Adam Green's hit TV show Holliston.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the cult horror comedy film director made Holliston about him and his friends growing up in Holliston, Massachusetts, being broke horror filmmakers, trying to make their shot. This is called Holliston, Friendship is Tragic, and it tells the story of all of them getting together. And Adam, the main character, finds a cursed credit card, and he buys them all Halloween presents, and they're cursed because of the cursed credit card, so it makes them all successful, threatening to ruin their friendship and destroy the town of Holliston itself because it's a curse, and so why not? So you got giant monsters, you got flying saucers, you got the kids from Cannibal Fat Camp. There's all kinds of crazy things going on in there. It's lots of wild fun for people who are fans of the show and people who haven't heard of the show. It's going to be a really great comic coming up in October. We're going to start pre-sales pretty soon here with Source Point Press. So those are the comics that I'm directly writing. Later on, we're going to have Last Monster Standing. That's going to be published next year. I wrote that one as well with Eric Reichenbach, who's been on Survivor. He is, and the reason I mentioned that is because the pitch for the show is, pitch for the comic is that the giant monsters all invade Tokyo and then get their own reality show. So it's a lot of fun. It's goofy. We do a lot of horror stuff. We do a lot of sci-fi stuff. We've got Nora, The Rot, Up the River. I'll let you talk with those creators there. Hank Steiner, Dead Duck, and Zombie Chick. There's lots of really cool stuff. Some of it's horror comedy, some of it's more hardcore, gruesome stuff. Some of it's more sci-fi and pulp-oriented, but there's really something for every taste out there.
That's good, and that's what you want. That's what you want.
Right, yeah.
So we can find you at sourcepointpress.com.
We got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. We're super social with our social media. We got videos that we post up there, podcasts. You can check us out at Snake Oil Comics. We're doing that podcast every week as well. So lots of really cool stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ryan. All right, you do lefty shake
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you so much.
See you later.